Have you ever bought a pair of sneakers in the heat of the moment, ripped the tags off, chucked them on foot, walked around a bit, convinced yourself you love them, and then come to the sudden realization you look shit in them? They're not your style. You only bought them because of the hype. And now you want to return them, but you can't because you ripped the tags off. Yeah, that's happened to me too. And in today's episode, I want to run you through some of the sneakers that I regret buying the most. If you like this type of sneaker content, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get into it. The first sneakers I regret getting were the Yeezy 350 Zebras. Now, the reason I regret getting these is because I absolutely got shafted in a deal for them. See, when these things came out, the hype was at an all-time high for the 350 V2. This colorway was supposed to be really limited and exclusive, and I wanted in on that hype. And so I traded about 1,500 quid worth of sneakers for this pair. Now, I'll be the first person to say that hype shouldn't govern your sneaker purchases, but I'll also be the first person to say that I very seldom follow that advice myself. And so when the restocks of the Yeezy Zebras came about, the value plummeted, the exclusivity on them was gone, and I was stuck in a situation where I had this pair that I had massively overpaid for. And I regret that. The next sneaker I regret getting are the Kobe 9 Mamba Moments. Now, some of you out there may be able to relate to this because I got these in a size too small for myself. I love the look of this sneaker. The Kobe 9 is one of my favorite silhouettes of all time, and I wanted this model so bad that I was willing to sacrifice the function of my feet and the health of my feet in order to get them on foot. These ran so small, and wearing them pretty much destroyed my feet. The funny thing is no one actually cared about these sneakers at the time anyway. And so this act of foot sacrifice benefited absolutely nobody. And so the lesson that I learned from this was never to compromise on fit, even if the sneaker in question is a sneaker you really like. Do you guys remember in 2017, we had the Nike HyperAdapts? These came off the back of the retro of the Nike mags with the auto lacing technology, and we thought that the future had arrived. Auto lacing sneakers were about to be the norm. No longer would we have to faff about making loops and tying knots. At least that's what we thought. Now, these are a cool looking shoe and the technology is pretty amazing, but these were 620 pounds, which, adjusting for inflation, is about 3,000 pounds in 2023 money. The reason I regret getting these is because had I waited, I probably could have picked them up for like 200 or 300 pounds under the price. These really didn't take off in the way that a lot of people expected them to. And even though I had a lot of fun asking people to ask me about the shoes that I was wearing, it soon became pretty tired inserting and withdrawing my feet time and again to show people the lights flaring up and the laces lacing themselves. Next up, we have another Yeezy 350 V2. This time it is the frozen yellow. This is quite possibly the worst colorway of the Yeezy 350 V2 in history. Now, at this point, it probably won't come as a surprise to you to learn that I actually paid 400 pounds for these. I wanted to have all of the exclusive colorways, and at the time when these released, these were like the most exclusive pair. But the colorway is just so awful. It seems like the namesake and the colorway have derived from someone's experience stepping in not only piss in the snow, but also if you look at the brown outsole, this person has also stepped in shit. And so this shit piss inspired colorway is very much stained in my memory as being a sneaker I regret massively overpaying for. Have you ever won a sneaker raffle where winning the raffle sort of commits you to having to buy the shoe even if you don't really like the shoe? Well, that happened to me with the Nike Off-White Blazer Lows. I entered into a raffle for the black and green colorway, didn't expect to win, got the email saying that I'd won, and was so happy to have finally won a sneaker raffle that I didn't even really think about what they looked like when I went in to pick them up. It was only when I got home and took them out of the box that I realized what an eyesore abomination they really are. You see, they've added bits like this scaffolding around the heel, these extra laces and cable ties that are completely unnecessary. And then they've taken away bits like significant portions of the upper that are completely necessary. This shoe has the unique ability to be both ugly and impractical simultaneously. I will admit that I did sell these recently and managed to pretty much get all of my money back, so it wasn't a huge regret, but definitely a regret nonetheless. You guys remember sort of this time last year, or maybe a little bit further back, when the Air Jordan 2 was rumored to be the next potential it shoe. No, maybe it was just me. And getting caught up in that trend, I decided to look on the market for some pretty cool Jordan 2s to add to my collection. I decided to buy a pair of Jordan 2 Beckers from 2007. I paid about £380 from Goats, and this was a stupid move because pairs from this era that are this old are very, very susceptible to crumbling. And this pair was no exception. When I got it in hand, I discovered the midsole to be incredibly soft, and so I was terrified to wear them. And since buying them, I have worn them a grand total of 0 times, gone on to resell them for about £60 loss. Once again, guys, try not to allow trends to over-influence you in your purchasing. As if I'm gonna follow that myself. Another Jordan 2 that I regret picking up, albeit I did scoop these up for retail, were these, the Union 2s. Again, these came out at that time when it was kind of 50-50 whether or not the 2 was gonna take off or not. And just given how high the retail was on these, I wish I had just left them alone and gone on to maybe pick them up nowadays where they're selling for significantly under retail. These types of regrets are very easy to retrofit given the power of hindsight. And whilst I still think this is a nice, clean, and tidy shoe, part of me just wishes I'd left it so I could have picked it up now for cheaper, that's all. Last up today we have these, the Nike SB Dunk High Diamonds, aka the Tiffany's. This regret is an example of one settling for a sneaker. You see, I bought these because I couldn't justify in my mind paying the huge prices for the diamond lows, and given these were about £350, I figured I would substitute these for the lows and enjoy a similar experience. The thing is though, these Dunk Highs are such crap quality. Like, the leather is really stiff, it feels a little bit like cardboard, and every time I look at them, all I can think about is how I settled for them and how I would be just so much happier had I just gone for the lows. And so now I'm kind of 50-50 as to whether or not who am I kidding? I will be posting these for sale, recouping as much money as I can, and putting that money towards the shoe that I originally wanted and should have gone for in the first place, the diamond lows. But let that be a lesson not to settle. If you want something, go for it, make it your plan to get it. And there we go, those are some sneakers that I regret buying. The cool thing about being a sneakerhead and a sneaker collector and being active in the sneaker market is that if you do pick up a sneaker that you end up regretting, it's pretty easy to flip them on again on the aftermarket. And so that's what I tend to do. And feel free to let me know in the comments if you guys have any interesting sneaker regret stories. Be sure to subscribe if you guys haven't done so already. And if you did enjoy the video, feel free to give it a like for me. I would appreciate it. Thanks again, everybody, for taking the time to watch. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.